Hey everybody, this is car chat number 4. We just finished a good 5 a.m. workout. I'll post the videos later. But yeah, it got me thinking, traveling, right? Like, what do you do when you travel? So I work at a company right now, and we have to travel to different states for site visits, site investigations, things of that nature. So before I wasn't working out as much, right? So it wasn't an issue. My programs were also like 4 days or 3-day programs. This program is 5 days, which is a little challenging because to dedicate 5 days a week to working out, then that's a real hassle. Not hassle, but that's real difficult to do. So that's why I either come in late at night once the kids are off in bed. I help clean around the house, make sure everything's tidy. My wife works sometimes at night, so I want to make sure our house is, we tag team the house cleaning. That way they're both clean, and then that way, wife can go do her workouts, and then she gets home, I do my workouts. It's like a switcheroo. But yeah, so I'm thinking now that I'm working out 5 times a week, I'm gonna travel next week. I would travel to Sacramento, so I know there's a Planet Fitness right by the hotel I'm staying at. Since it is going to be a 3-day thing, it's morning time too, so I travel in the morning, so that shouldn't be too bad. So I'll have enough time to get to the hotel, rest. Usually when we travel, it's cool because we get like a food stipend for our 3 meals a day. Usually it's 2 meals a day because we get breakfast at the hotels, and I try to just eat as much like proteins and then stay away from all the carbs and stuff. But we're also walking around the site, so you don't want to eat too much because then you have to go to the restroom and a porta potty. So yeah, so that's the good part, is I can get a lot of my nutrition in fairly easy thanks to that. The bad part is I'm gonna be super tired. I really can't work out Wednesday, mostly because that's when I come home. Or I could, and then we have a deadline for some drawings. Woo, excuse me. I just finished a 5 a.m. workout. So we have a deadline for some drawings on the 21st. So I'm really gonna be booked 21st, but not in the night. Usually our site investigations end around 4 or 2 p.m. depending. This will probably be shorter, so probably like 1 p.m. And we'll go out to get lunch with my coworkers, and then head back to the hotel, and then from there next morning head out. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna do is I have this fear of missing a flight. I don't know if anybody else has that fear too. Like I really can't get sleep, I can get sleep on the first day I get there because, I don't have anything to submit, so I can just sleep in. Once the flight's over, get back up at like 12, go get some lunch, come back, get some work done. But the night before, that's Monday night, for example, I really can't get any sleep. I'm so scared of just missing my alarm, so I just set up like 10s alarms. It's just difficult. So I think I'm gonna end up doing this time differently, since I know I'm gonna have trouble sleeping anyways. I'm just gonna end up finishing my work on Sunday night, so that Monday I can get to a hotel, eat, sleep as much as I can, and then probably wake up, get as much naps and rest as I can to get rid of that jet lag. And then once all that's done and over, I'll probably go work out again I'll probably do it earlier, like 10 or 11. And now I can come back, be tired. I won't have pre-workout, so that's gonna be interesting. Well, I don't know if you can fly with pre-workout, can you? I don't know, I'll double check. So yeah, so I have to work out, come back to the hotel, get some rest, get up the next morning early, 7 a.m., breakfast, all that stuff. And I think I'll work out Tuesday night, and I will knock out 2 days. Also, I gotta be on flight Monday really early. So yeah, so I'm just wondering, that's the kind of the chit chat that popped in my head. So how do people that travel so often get their workouts in? Like, are they, so it should be good. I don't know if, I think it's good also that during this traveling time, I'm in the hypertrophy period where I'm not loading up as much physical weight, so there's not that much of a stress on my body. Because I knew when I do a lot of heavier weight, then that's when I really start feeling really tired and sore and everything. Right now, this volume's a lot more, but the weight is really light, so it doesn't feel as big of a difference. And I'm still able to do like top sets of 405s, 315s for a bench, 420s with the deadlift. So the strength is there. So we'll see. Next week and Monday is gonna be pretty light too. I think for squats, it's gonna be a lighter day at 60%. So it's gonna be like 285 or 265, which is amazing. It's easy, especially since I'll be traveling. And it's just really, really amazing. So we stay in Rancho Cordova. There's an amazing ramen place right there that I love. So that's my go-to spot. Every time I get to that area, I'll go to that ramen place for lunch. I'll get me a spicy tonketsu ramen. Some dumplings. Oof, that just hits the spot. So right now here I'm coming to Dutch Bros. I'm gonna get just a black tea because I already had the pre-workout, so I just want like a green tea, something light for my stomach. And then that way I can go home, eat some eggs, bada boom, bada bing. But yeah, let me know how you guys are traveling. I think this week, in terms of dieting, it's the end of the week. I'll take some photos where I'm at. I didn't weigh myself in the morning. I did weigh myself yesterday. We're still 228. I am feeling a bit harder, leaner, less fluffy. My legs, my thighs are really blowing up. My wife used to make fun of me that I had like chicken legs and this weird upper body because my upper body naturally tapers off. So it's been like that my whole life. So when in high school, people thought I played football because I had like really wide shoulders. So I'm just working on getting my gut down. In some of these videos that I look at, like it looks so embarrassing. Like you can see how much I've let myself go because of working computers all day. So hopefully that's my main goal, is to just get my gut down, keep pushing those strength numbers. I think if I get down to 200, I'll be good. The lowest I've been just periodically working out it took me a year was 175. That was like my lowest. It's been difficult this week. I did get this cravings for McDonald's. So to kind of still stay within my macros, I avoid the cheeseburgers. I try to go for something a lot leaner, like I don't know where they're gonna take our order. So I went for something leaner, so like a chicken sandwich, for example. It's probably the leanest thing I can get, or just 4-piece nuggets. Just little things to like kind of get that craving over with. We ran out of turkey this week, so that was difficult. And we bought a bunch of tuna, so I'm gonna start making all my tuna meals next week. So I'll probably have tuna Monday, Tuesday, and you do it the Mexican style. You put in a tostada, you put some tapatio, and that's kind of. I love tuna. Tuna is amazing. High protein. Just gotta watch the sodium a little bit. Other than that, I think the diet was pretty good. No crazy, going out to get like big old double cheeseburger meals and things like that. It's all been mostly home food. A lot of lentils, a lot of beans, but not not refried beans. Most like we call them so just like when you cook them. I don't know what's the term is, like broil them or like just cook them regularly without deep frying them. So that's always good. A lot of protein shakes, protein yogurts, peanut butter sandwiches. I love peanut butter sandwiches. So the diet's been going good. Nothing to complain there besides the little cribbings here and there, which is also nice. I'm trying to teach the kids to eat cleaner, but they're doing pretty good. We don't buy them any like junk food through the week. We'll get like one cheat meal, and during the weekend it could be, they love canes. That's like their thing. Or chicken nuggets, like all the kids' Happy Meals. It's very sparingly. I know before I had my contract work, they were getting it more frequently, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But now, kind of with the budget's a little tight, like they really don't get it as often. They get it maybe every other week, basically. It's difficult to, especially with the prices of Happy Meals. The Happy Meals are like $7 now. It's not even. It's much cheaper to just get the meal deal, which is what, $6, and then you get the 4-piece nuggets, a double cheeseburger. So how does that make any sense? How is a small fry, double cheeseburger, 4-piece nuggets, small drink cheaper than a Happy Meal? So what the heck is that all about? So now they're kind of, they already have the toys. So usually what I'll do is I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 of the meal deals, which comes out cheaper than buying even 2 Happy Meals. 2 Happy Meals the other day, I think I got them was 7, 8, 14. It was close to $20 for just 2, so plus taxes and all that. So yeah, screw that. I used to love the Carl's had this deal they took away, which is called, it was 2 for $5. So you could get spicy chicken, 6-piece chicken stars. Oh, give me a second. Trying to pull up at Dutch Bros. So there was kind of ways where you can hack what food you're gonna get. So like they had a 6-piece. It was 2 for $5. It was like 2 wraps for $5, or chicken sandwich, spicy chicken, small fries, chicken stars. It was 6 chicken stars, so not 4, or a big cheeseburger, whatever it was called. So that was like an amazing deal, because I could literally get. I would get 6-piece stars for each of the kids, so 1, 2, 3, with small fries. Done. $15. And then I would get and then one for the older kids. So that was like the cheeseburger and fries. That's $20 right there. And then we don't really drink soda, or we mostly just drink water and apple juice. So that was a great deal. And then they took it off because it was unlimited. It was unlimited, so you could keep doing it over and over and over again. But I guess now the McDonald's deal is better than McDeal. And then you get your points, and then you can use them. So a tip that you can do is, if you want to keep using your points at McDonald's, like say you have like 10,000, for example, it takes a little bit, not a little time, but if you go inside the kiosk, inside the place, and then go on your app and say, I forgot the scan or rewards, it'll give you a unique code, and then that you put that code into the kiosk, and then that's how you can use your rewards. But if you close out of your app and then open it again and press it again, it gives you a new key code, and you can use it again. So basically, if you order through the app, it'll give you a warning saying that you can only use the rewards, the deals ones. So this way you can do a deal, rewards. And that's because sometimes you can get like when they have the $1 10-piece nuggets, and then pay, and then use your reward points for another 6-piece, and etc. So that kind of gives you a kind of little food hack on how to keep using your rewards if you need them in that moment. But yeah, it's been good. Working on some new projects right now. I'm doing some not freelance stuff, but I'm designing some booths and rendering them, mostly to show supplement companies are gonna have expositions. I forget the name. Expositions. Basically what I can do in terms of design, and hopefully we'll snag one of them as a client. So booths are pretty interesting because it's a small space and you can design it really well. So you could add all these crazy lighting and stuff, and a lot of the booths you see at these convention shows, they suck. So I want to put a little bit of architecture into them. I've also slowly been doing my portfolio, adding more drawings and renderings. I posted 2 videos already, or 3 actually. of some of the higher end architecture stuff, reviews and critiques. I did one recently where one of the projects I worked on was 1601 San Onofre it burnt down. So I talk about my experience going through that project, kind of how I felt in the time. It was one of the first big projects. And while I am grateful to the company I work for, I'm also critical of the design. So for me, first and foremost comes design. Designing stuff. So I guess those architectural videos, I'm getting better at them. I've been a little rusty from my school days, and I remember sidetrack, when I was in school, like I was really harsh in critiques, because I came from California, right? So California is a little harsher in the architecture world and designing and things like that. So critiques are brutal here. So I remember when I went to out of state college, I got there and I think we had like this desk critique where we walked around people's desks and we would write our critiques of the models. One thing I did notice right away, and this is, I guess being older and more involved in architecture at that time, I was 24, I think, when I transferred out. And being in California, architecture is such a big thing. I had a lot more experience in terms, and culturally, in terms of architects, their works and things like that. So I was no stranger to a lot of these famous architects. We all strive to be like them. At that time, one of the most famous firms was called Shop Architects. So a lot of that work was barely edging its way towards the East Coast, and specifically North Carolina, which school was more traditional. They're not really avant-garde or modern or crazy, right? Compared to like schools here in LA, like SciArc, UCLA, USC, Pomona's okay. At least Pomona's okay. They're not out there. So I got there, and one of the first things I noticed was that everybody was freaking copying these projects, right? Like very noticeably copying. Like there was, it was not one-to-one copies, but there was this. It's basically like you took the same project and then you added a bench, right? That's still copying. You can't claim that's new. It's not like a work of literature, things like that. Another really similar way I saw that people were copying thing was I take the project and like put it like in a different environment. Say this project that used to be out in the forest, it's now in the desert. So because of the soil, it's a new project. So I would call out all this BS, and I would call out all these projects like, hey, I'll write down, this looks like this project, change it. It's too closely related, blah, blah, blah. And I remember this one girl, she started crying. And I understand, like she put a lot of work in that little model. Like it was I'm trying to remember the name of the Shop Architects project, but it was a famous one where like it's basically looks like a bunch of 2x4s kind of interconnected to create this kind of undulating form. So she started crying, and it was all this whole mess, and and like it was valid criticism, right? Like you're not supposed to copy work, and I think that's the issue that I saw right away with that. I don't know if it was just that school in specific, but this newer generation of students were really dumb. Like not dumb, it's just like for example, before you're going to study a project or you're going to study how to do a project, you would all go to the library, right? You could study books, you study images, things like that. So you would, Google wasn't really accessible, so you didn't have all this power at your fingertips. So what ended up happening was, give me a second. Yeah, so I left off. Oh yeah, so everybody's copying things. I was critiquing them. A lot of people didn't like that. Ended up making a lot of enemies because I wouldn't stand for that. But yeah, eventually, I don't even know how we got into that. Anyways, that's kind of why I base my architectural videos on critiquing, because you can tell the difference between an architectural built home and a design build or a GC build. I call them GC builds because it's a general contractor. Even though some general contractors have architects on there, there's notable languages in the design that, like, make you think, like, why would they do that? Not to say that a lot of architects' homes are the best design homes, but the majority of them have a more thought out design language than a GC home. A GC is always number one goal is always to sell you the product. In this case, being a house, right? So they're gonna put all these materials, all these luxury things, blah 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 blah, marble everywhere up the bazoo because that's luxury, and things like that. While an architecturally designed home, oftentimes more than not, they're gonna sparingly use the materials at certain locations, certain moments to provide a sense of space, which is something that a lot of these GC homes miss. And then if you look at the overall footprint of the buildings, you'll see that GC homes tend to be very rectilinear, right? Not many moments or shifting of spaces. You'll see every once in a while somebody will do a cantilever, right? But because they want to maximize floor space, more floor space means more money that they get to sell it for. And the other way around, if you look at an architectural home, and there's one that I'm gonna review that's really cool, they tend to use the volume in the rooms and the program as 3D spatial interactions. So you have this cool shifting of program and space. So while it's still linear in a sense, if you look at it in vertical space, horizontal spaces, there's more interaction between the different spaces, and that's the main difference between the two. You could tell. You look at any home right now, any giga mansion out there, if they're straight rectilinear with a lot of glass, probably a GC home. If you start seeing some interesting play on the shape, the form, straight, and all of a sudden there's a curve area, if it's well thought out, probably an architectural design home. But yeah, that's kind of the whole point. Just criticism. I could get criticized myself. I did when I was in school. Not that every project I did is the best. I'm not the best, but I think what really stands out in architecture above all other firms or other fields is this constant criticism that we kind of to get built into us, and that's something that has to stay in order for architecture to survive. When you start introducing PC politics and watering down architecture, you're gonna start producing worker bees, and that's kind of where the field is heading, right? You have all these different programs, iPal, all this stuff that's meant to just produce workers, produce architects, which is bad in my head, because when you start producing so many architects, you dilute the profession. Not everybody is meant to be an architect, a licensed architect, right? And when you work in a firm, you have project managers that aren't licensed because that's what they were good at project managing. You have super amazing designers that didn't become architects because that's what they do, design. But as you get farther in your career, you start noticing that there's this real lack of true architects, people that can project manage, design, things like that. For example, we worked on a project recently, and one of the PMs said, "Oh, I haven't sketched in so long," and it's kind of scary to hear that, right? This guy, this PM, and this other person are just kind of moving the design along, haven't designed or sketched in so long. That's worrisome, because how are you, when you're so stuck in the numbers and program and managing, you lose sight of architecture. And that's scary as someone like me who loves to design, to hear that. And then you feel powerless because sometimes these older PMs don't listen to you. You talk to them about something they lost, which is design, the blood of designing in their veins, and they'll just kind of nudge it off, like, oh, budget. But there is ways to work within budget, right? If you can't use metal panels, go use fiber cement boards, things like that. Like there's all kinds of ways to do that. Another thing that I've noticed a lot now recently working is that some of the recent architects I worked with, not my favorite guys. So I have a mentor now that he's amazing. Don't talk about the other guy. There's just waiting for the client. Like, no, our job as architects is to teach the client, teach him design, teach him why this is not good, this is not, dude. It's sort of like architects have become scared of their clients, and they let the clients design for them, and I think that's so wrong. Like, no, in this field the client isn't right. He may be paying the bills, but I think I had a professor who told us this story that he had a friend who was really well-known architect, right? He was having issues with his client because his client was a super rich guy. So the architect friend felt like he had to bend over a lot of the decisions for this guy. And then eventually the friend got fed up because the architecture that was being designed was crappy. It was coming out bad. It was, and then the client got frustrated too because, that's not what he wanted. That's not what he hired the guy for. The friend then told him, or our professor told him, like, well, if he has that much money, is he willing to go like on a trip, right? Propose that, and this is a super high-end client. So yeah, and then propose that to him, and then show him your design intent and teach him about architecture, so that he understands what you're gonna design for him is what he wants, but you're gonna do it, right? You're not. What he wants may not be what he wants, right? Yeah, and so he did that. Not everybody has kindness like this, but they flew to like Rome, France, and Spain, and they just took it I think it was like a 2-week tour of all this great architectural things, and that helped him teach the client about design. So now when he was designing, the client kind of backed off, said, okay, I trust you. So now he designed some really cool homes for him. And I feel like now you kind of lose that. Like, architects are scared not all architects, I'm saying some of the ones that work there, they're so scared, and they wait for the client to review this, wait for the client to tell them what to do, wait for this. And in the end, the design just comes out crappy, And that's kind of when I want to get my license, because, if I'm probably going to be a residential designer, even though margins are super low in that field, but I want to do high-end stuff. But my goal would be to teach the client design, and then design the best possible home for them. Anyways, that's my chit chat after the gym. I don't know why I'm so hyper. Click and subscribe. Sorry for keeping you guys here long, and thank you if you watched the whole thing. If you guys have any more questions about architecture programs, where to find programs, where to download resources, things like that nature, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to help all you new students, everybody out. There's certain programs that you can get for free if you're a student, so or even if you're not a student, you can we'll talk about that later. I'll probably do like a short, but the short of the end of the stick is apply to your local college. You get an email, use that email, and then you could get the $20 Adobe suite for a year. You can get rendering engines like Lumion and Enscape for free if you're a student, and all you need is that student email. And usually most colleges will give you a student email just for registering. You don't even have to get a class. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Click and subscribe. Have a good day.